From this bridge that unites both sides of the Border River Bug starts the acquaintance of the tourists from the Western Europe traveling by car with Belarus. Brest is the first city on the way of the tourist. It is one of the 6 area administrative centers of Belarus. The city was first mentioned in 1019, and historically it was Brest that connected Europe and Asia, and now connects EU and CIS countries. The most visited tourist site of the city and the whole Belarus is the memorial complex Brest Hero Fortress that has become the symbol of the feat of Soviet people during the Great Patriotic War. Survived buildings, preserved ruins, ramparts, and massive works of monumental art. Photographs, documents of participants of defense of the legendary citadel in the first days of the Great Patriotic War. Things found in different periods on the territory of the Brest Fortress are the basis of the exposition of the Defense Museum. Here, on the territory of the citadel, one can find Archaeological Museum Berestia, the only museum of the medieval Eastern Slavic city of the 13th century in Europe, where authentic block houses and timber-paved streets are presented. Main automobile street of the city starts from the memorial complex called Avenue named after Mashera, which then passes into Moskovskaya Street. Near the fortress, along the way to the city center, there is a railway museum. Diesel locomotives, steam locomotives, carriages. There, the history of development of the railway transport of the beginning of the 19th century is presented in the open air. In a couple of minutes, one can get to the historic center of Brest. It is crossed by the main pedestrian street of the city, Sovetskaya, where monuments and buildings of historical cultural heritage are side by side with numerous shops and cafes. Late in the evening, one can meet a lamplighter, who, as a couple of hundred years ago, lights oil street lamps. Visit Gogol Street. There's a lane of street lamps there, inspired by works of this classic of literature. Staying on the territory of the Republic of Belarus, foreign citizens have to register within 5 days. This easy procedure can be performed simultaneously with settling into the hotel or in sanitary and health improving organizations, agro-eco touristic sites, or in divisions of citizenship and migration. When the place of residence is changed, it is necessary to register within 5 days. Brest is the starting point of the main Belarusian highway, M1-E30, that leads to Minsk in the eastern direction. But at first, let's go to the north of the city. Several kilometers away from Brest, the estate of Nimtsevichi in Skokie. It was built in the 1770 in Baroque style. It was here where on the 15th of December 1917, Brest-Litovsk peace treaty was concluded, according to which Russia left the First World War. Main part of the exposition of the State Museum is dedicated to the events that took place 100 years ago. On the way to Skokie, one cannot but notice Rinkovka estate. It is the tourist complex stylized as a Belarusian village. Here you can find a tavern, a hotel, and guest log houses, as well as Russian sauna and a stable. Altogether, there are over 200 agro-eco estates in Brest area, where you can stay and rest away from the city fuss. Those who prefer active recreation and extreme will be offered fishing and hunting, as well as excursions by bicycle or canoe. 40 kilometers to the north of Brest, there is the national park Beloverskaya Pushcha. It is the largest plain relict primeval forest on the territory of the whole Europe. Beloverskaya Pushcha is included into the UNESCO World Cultural and Natural Heritage List. Bison is the unique resident of this place. The Europe's biggest animal can be seen with own eyes. Enclosures are opened for visitors of the national park. Flora and fauna diversity is presented in the Nature Museum. Younger visitors will be especially interested by visiting Father Frost Estate, where one can distract from routine problems and deep into the real fairy tale. Moreover, guests are welcomed all the year round. By the way, tourists from Europe can start exploring Belarus from Beloverskaya Pushcha. There is a border crossing point Pishatka Polovtsy near the national park in the direction of Belostok. Going to or returning from Beloverskaya Pushcha on the main highway, it is not possible not to see Belaya Veja. So is the name of the defense watchtower of the 13th century. To answer the question why its color differs from its name, turn to Kamenets. It would be convenient for tourists from Czech Republic, Slovakia, Austria and Hungary to enter the country from the most southern border crossing point of the Republic of Belarus and the European Union, Domačevo-Slovatychi. It is located 45 kilometers away from Brest. This checkpoint can be crossed not only by passenger cars, but also by trucks weighing up to 3,500 tons and vehicles placing up to 9 people. Driving to Brest, you can also visit Greenwood Tourist Complex. Here you can not only taste delicate dishes of Italian and Belarusian cuisine, but also enjoy solitude with nature. The chalet is situated on the bank of the picturesque lake Belaya. Road from Brest to the capital of Belarus, Minsk, takes about 350 kilometers.
M1 E30 highway is a toll road. This how the Beltoll system portals for payment for toll roads look like. They are equipped with transceivers which ensure data transfer with the onboard device installed on the windscreen of the vehicle. This technology helps road users pay for the toll road without stopping the vehicle.
First city met on the way from Brest to Minsk is Kobrin. It is one of the ancient Belarusian cities where the commander Alexander Suvorov lived for several years and owned the estate Kobrinsky Kluch. Outstanding exposition of the War Historical Museum is devoted to the famous Generalissimo. In Kobrin, you can also rest and gain strength for the future journey in the local water park. Each of the filling stations along the M1 E30 highway, apart from its direct services, can offer the tourist hot beverages and snacks. And if you visit roadside cafes, then you can taste dishes of European and Belarusian cuisine. The latter is rich in dishes from potatoes that Belarusians call the second bread, as well as meat, fish and mushrooms. Gourmets and lovers of the national color should taste numerous liquors, kisel and birch kvass that are indispensable part of the Belarusian cuisine. Do not forget to buy a keepsake about the country, for instance exclusive Belarusian souvenirs or publications about the Republic of Belarus and Brest area that will help during the way and tell about tourist sites and infrastructure.
To receive help in case of forced stop, use general emergency number 112.
Entering P44 highway, you can visit two most famous castles of Brest area that are situated in Ivatsevichy. One of them is located 15 kilometers away from the highway, Palace of Puslovsky. It is the monument of architecture of the middle of the 19th century. The palace is built in the neo-Gothic style. There are 12 lenticular towers symbolizing months of the year, 365 small towers that correspond to days of the year. There is an estate museum of Tadeusz Kościuszka in the foot of the palace. It is the house where the great son of Belarusian land was born, who later became the national hero of Poland, the United States of America and honorable citizen of France. If you drive about 20 kilometers to the north, you can see the palace complex of Sapega, which is also called Belarusian Versailles. It is the palace of the 17th century that combines features of the defense fortress and ceremonial palace. Its construction is connected with the name of the magnate and politician, chancellor and one of the authors of the unique code of laws, Statute of the Great Duchy of Lithuania, Leo Sapega. Here you can take part in the theatrical historic reconstruction. If you have the possibility to stay in Brest area for more than one day, then if you return to Ivatsevichy, you can continue your way in the P6 highway. Driving 100 km further, you will get to Pinsk. It has no equals in Brest region concerning the safety of old planning, monuments of architecture and common historic buildings. Many names of famous figures of culture, science and politics are connected with Pinsk. Moreover, Pinsk is the capital of Polessia, land of woods, marshes and rivers, which is called the lands of Europe. There are exotic places there where people live in villages in the wild, in houses covered by reed, and use original agricultural equipment like it was done 100 years ago, and in spring, when the big water comes, move in handmade boats. Brest area is the homeland of many famous poets and writers. In the village Zaosye, which is situated in the northwest of Brest region, you can visit the house of the parents of Adam Mickiewicz, where the famous poet-romanticist made his first steps and which he visited in his youth. The exposition of the State Museum is like an illustration to the immortal masterpiece of the writer, the poem Pan Tadeusz, a Schlachter house with the porch, cattle shed, swept well and an old lime tree. List of monuments of history, culture and architecture of Brest area includes over 2,000 objects. In each of which you will be welcomed. And to each of which you can easily find your way. Have a good journey!